What is up, guys? Welcome back to my garden, or if you're new, welcome to my garden. My name is Alex, and I do container gardening in Missouri. Zone 6B, 7A. If you are a returning viewer, you might notice that the garden looks just a little bit different than the last time you would have seen it. There was a lot of weeds, not only outside of the containers on the ground, kind of covering the edges and coming up around the sides, but also in the containers. So I have gotten rid of all of the weeds in the garden, and it looks so much better. I will put up a before picture right here for you to see. And here is your after. There were lots of dead plants in all of these containers, and I removed them. Tiny bit of remnants of what was there, and I hand clipped a lot of the weeds that were growing up in the front and on the other side. I did it everywhere around the whole garden, all of the containers. And I just kind of threw them a little bit away from the containers, and then I came through with the lawnmower and chopped everything up instead of having to pick it up again, touch everything twice, and put it in a pile. My arms did start to itch very, very terribly from touching all of the dead squash and cucumber plants. My skin just reacts to it, does not like it. So I took a break after clipping all that, moving all of that stuff, as well as the green stalks that were way too close to my driveway, and then mowing down all the dead stuff. So I did go inside, wash my arms, ate a little snack, and put some sourdough bread in the oven that I have a timer going for right now. Since the weather has been cooling down, I am just so ready for fall. I want to wear a sweater, and I want to bake bread in the middle of the day and it not make my house too hot. And I want to cook soup, and I want to have kale in the garden. So today, together, we are going to refresh this entire thing and get the garden going for fall. The first thing on my list that we need to do in order to get this garden ready for fall is to refresh some of the soil that's in these containers. Recently, I harvested over 10 gallons of compost from my compost tumbler, and that needs to be implemented here in the garden. So, first things first, we need to remove the mulch from all the containers that we're going to be adding soil to. A large portion of the containers that I want to refresh are my peppers, because those will stay alive until the frost comes, and since the weather has cooled back down, there have been a lot of new flowers being put on by the pepper plants. Oh, hi, Mr. Spider. And I would love to be able to actually harvest these, so we're going to try and refresh this soil, and then when they do die in the frost, I can chop them down and plant something else. So I'm just going to use this little rake and get all of my mulch out of here and any plant tags that I've apparently left. There's one. Let's keep going. I think you guys get the picture. I have plenty of containers to remove mulch from, and I will check back in when that's done. Okay, not only did I get all of the mulch off of all of the peppers, but I also went inside and took the lids off of my sourdough loaves and set another timer. So we are getting things done. The next thing I need to do is take this shovel and kind of rough up the soil that's already in the containers with the peppers, because it has become a little bit hydrophobic in the summer heat, and I want to break apart the soil structure so that basically I'm going to force it to retain water again by not only roughing up what's already there, but mixing in some new stuff that has better water retention, and then it touching the other soil will slowly saturate that soil as well and get rid of the hydrophobia. So this is what we're gonna do. This is what I mean by rough up. This black container right here is a mixture of soil and my homemade compost that I mixed up yesterday. So I'm going to use this. Actually, I lied. First, I'm going to use this chicken manure granular organic fertilizer all in the container. Move it around a little bit. And then I'm gonna top with the mixture I made yesterday. Then I'm gonna do the same thing that I did and kind of mix in that layer that I just added just a little bit. Oh, I broke the plant. That's a sacrifice I'm gonna have to accept. Okay. And that is basically what we're gonna do to all of these containers that I just took the mulch off of. So doing it this way, roughing it up, is for sure going to cut some of the roots of the pepper plants, but these peppers are so established and have so many big, nice, healthy roots that the little tiny spindly ones off of the ends really aren't going to matter, and honestly, it will promote more root growth, more new root growth. So these plants will be able to take up nutrients so quickly now. Show you a top view of what I'm doing. I'll try because it's hard to do with one hand only. But I'm just going around the bucket with the shovel, staying probably 4 to 5 inches away from the base of each pepper plant so that I don't cut any of the major roots. I'm trying my best to get the shovel down into the middle. If you have a smaller shovel, by all means, use that. But I don't know where mine is right now, and I didn't feel like finding it. So this is what we're doing. And then I can use my hand some, just kind of break it up. When your soil becomes hydrophobic, it kind of becomes just one big block of soil instead of loose like this. And then it's much harder for it to retain water. So get out of here, bug. All right, now fertilizer. This is my fertilizer. It is by True Organics. It is a 3-3-2, so not too heavy in anything, but mostly nitrogen and phosphorus. The least potassium. And I really love this stuff, but it does smell really bad. There is that container done. Look how dark brown and nice this soil looks in comparison to the soil where we took off the mulch. So much better. Plants are about to thrive in their new environment. But again, I think you guys get the point. So I'm going to keep roughing up all this soil, adding the fertilizer and then the compost soil mix, and I'll see you guys back again. Night mode on my phone as well as my very bright porch light both make it seem like it's not that dark out here, but it is. See, that doesn't even look dark, but it is getting really dark out here. I'm going to check how many containers I have left to refresh and probably leave off until the morning, so let's go see. I had to mix up some more soil compost mix, so I took the mulch off of this container and put it on top of that one, and then put half of this 5-gallon bucket into what was a half full thing of soil. Mix that together, and that's what I started to use as refreshment. These 2 green ones, those 2 red ones, and that orange one are done. I did not refresh this green one yet because the pepper plant in it is just so measly that I wanted to get the more important ones first. So coming down this way, I have refreshed this black container, this green container, and both of these containers right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 left to do of the peppers. It is almost 8 p.m. I've still yet to have dinner, and all of my loaves of bread are almost done baking, so I for sure am going to leave this right where it's at. I actually am going to water the ones that I already refreshed, and then we'll get right back at it in the morning. What's up, guys? It is the next day, and I got all of the containers refreshed that had the peppers in them, and I officially used all of my homemade compost, which is a sad day, but a really happy day for my plants. Last night, I made some fertilizer water just like this. It is Neptunes Harvest Organic Fish and Seaweed Fertilizer, and I watered the plants that I already refreshed the soil on. And then just now, after finishing refreshing the soil on the rest of them, I went through and gave them all a fertilized dose again, except for this one. I still have this one plant left. That's why I have this out here. So let's go ahead and give this guy a good deep water. I'm bad at using my left hand for that. We'll take the rest of this and give it to my strawberry green stalk because it is struggling. I'm just going to put it directly in there because my watering system is not set up fully. Wasn't quite enough for all of them, but better than nothing. Pretty soon I will be purchasing another truckload of compost from the local company where I can get it for a decent price, and I will be refreshing all of the containers, but for right now that's all of the fresh soil that I have. So I'm going to plant other things in with those peppers so that when they die in the frost in just a couple of months, there will already be something in there and I won't have to worry about refilling it. As for right now, we are together going to harvest all of the ripe peppers that are on those plants. Not only because I want to eat them, but also so the plants can focus on making more leaves and more flowers and then ripening more peppers hopefully for me before the frost comes. So let's harvest. First plant is actually the one we just watered. This is the datil pepper. It ranges from 100,000 to to 300,000 Scoville units. It is the spiciest pepper that I grow, and I'm pretty excited to hopefully make a sauce out of it today. One more. And that is all from that plant. Oh, this is one that fell off of that plant just a bit ago. There's nothing on these bell peppers to harvest. Let's go around. Oh yeah, I made this new pathway so that I don't have to go all the way around now, and I really love that. Nothing on this bell pepper, but we do have a few jalapenos here. These could be, oh, these are actually nadapinos, the non-spicy jalapenos. This is nadapinos as well. Now moving on past the pathway to the second little brick, we have serranos. Here are the Pippin's Golden Honey, which are getting a little bit dry. So instead of eating these fresh, like a snacking pepper, I'm going to add them to my sauces to give them a bit of a sweet and fruity flavor and offset the spice. This one got a little bug in it. Well, harvested that whole branch. It is not the most ideal time to be harvesting peppers right now. It is the early evening. The sun is still blaring, but I have time before I have to attend to some other matters, so I'm picking them, and hopefully I will have time to process them tonight before I go to bed. These ones are Craig's Grande jalapenos. Very good. I'm going to go ahead and take the green ones also. I think that's all of them. Oh, I skipped a poblano. I'll take that. Here is another serrano plant that has a lot of peppers on it. See if we missed any. Yeah, we did. Oh, again, I'm taking any green ones off as well so it can just produce all new everything. These plants really need a trim. I think I will cut back a lot of the overgrowth over the side of the container on that side. I do have a couple of green bell peppers. I could go ahead and harvest those. Let's look at them. This little tiny guy, yeah, I'm gonna take it. I think that's the only one that's actually producing. Oh, nope, and this little guy. And after that, we will let any other peppers set on there get to their full potential, especially since it's got fresh soil and nutrition, and the temperature is really starting to go down now. Today's supposed to be the hottest day of the week, and it didn't even reach 90. So here is our harvest basket full of peppers. Got quite the variety. That'll make me a decent sauce, I think. Now all I have to do is take the mulch off of the rest of the containers and rough up that soil just like I did the peppers, and then start actually consistently watering everything, probably every day until the soil retains as much moisture as I want it to. But for right now, I'm gonna be done in the garden. I hope that those peppers will be nice and revitalized by the time the frost comes and hopefully give me some more food. So I think this is a pretty good harvest for early September. It was very hot through August and July, a neglected, unwatered garden. So this is kind of the hard part, as well as roughing up the soil that I'm gonna be doing, as well as replenishing the moisture level in my containers from me not watering. And then next video, we get to do the fun part, which is direct sowing seeds in the garden for fall, being carrots and beets and radishes, rutabagas, kale. I'm so excited to have kale back in the garden. So thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you watching, and I will see you all in the next one.